A lot of new gun owners make the same mistake. They buy a carry gun based on how impressive it looks in the case. It is small, it is powerful, it holds a lot of rounds. The internet says it is popular, and the price looks good, so they buy it. Then the first week begins. The gun is uncomfortable in the waistband. So today, we are looking at 7 carry guns new owners frequently regret buying, and the real reason each one can become a problem. Number 1. The Smith & Wesson 340 PD. This is one of the easiest guns to misunderstand. On paper, it sounds perfect. A tiny revolver, extremely light, chambered in Tom, 357 Magnum. It can also fire .38 Special. What could go wrong? The problem is the weight. Smith & Wesson lists the 340 PD at just 11.8 ounces. That makes it incredibly easy to carry. But when you combine an extremely lightweight revolver with powerful ammunition, the recoil can become a serious problem. A new owner may buy it thinking, "I want the most powerful cartridge in the smallest possible gun." Then they take it to the range. The first shot is surprising. The second shot is uncomfortable. And by the end of the session, they are wondering why they bought a gun they do not enjoy practicing with. That is the regret. The gun is easy to carry. But carrying a gun you never practice with is not a winning strategy. Number 2. The Ruger LCP. The original LCP helped create the modern pocket pistol market. It is tiny, it is light, and it is easy to hide. That is exactly why new owners love it. But the same things that make it easy to carry can make it difficult to shoot. The grip is extremely small, the sights are minimal, the trigger takes practice, and the short, lightweight design can feel surprisingly snappy with .30-80 ammunition. Many new owners make the same mistake. They buy the smallest gun they can find because they assume smaller means better concealed carry. Then they discover that the smallest gun is not necessarily the easiest gun to control. The LCP can make sense for deep concealment, but as a first handgun, it can be a difficult introduction to shooting. Number 3. The Kel-Tech P32. The P32 is one of the lightest centerfire pistols ever made for concealed carry. That is its entire appeal. It is incredibly small, it is extremely light, and it can disappear in clothing that would make larger pistols uncomfortable. But new owners sometimes buy a pistol this small without understanding the trade-off. The sights are tiny, the grip is minimal. The .32 ACP cartridge is not as common as 9mm or .380, and the gun is designed around concealment more than enjoyable range practice. That is an important difference. A person buying their first carry gun may think, "This is perfect because I will always carry it." But after shooting it, they may realize they want something with a more comfortable grip and a better sight picture. The P32 is a specialist, and specialists are not always good first choices. Number 4. The Taurus Judge. The Judge is one of the most recognizable revolvers in America. It can fire .45 Colt and .40 shot shells, depending on the model, and that combination sounds extremely powerful. That is exactly why new owners are attracted to it. They hear T45, they hear T45, and they think they are getting the ultimate defensive revolver. But the real-world carry experience can be very different. The Judge is bulky, the cylinder is large, many models are heavy, and it does not carry like a slim modern pistol or a small snub-nose revolver. A new owner may buy one for concealed carry and quickly realize that the gun is much harder to hide than expected. It may make sense for some specific users, but for everyday concealed carry, many people discover that the Judge is simply more gun than they want to carry. Number 5. The Desert Eagle. This is probably the most obvious example of buying a gun because of its image. The Desert Eagle is famous. It is instantly recognizable. It looks powerful. It feels powerful. And for many new gun owners, that is exactly the attraction. But concealed carry is a completely different question. The Desert Eagle is large. It is heavy. The grip is wide. The magazines are large. And depending on the caliber, ammunition can be expensive. A new owner may buy one thinking, "This will be my carry gun." Then they actually try carrying it. The reality becomes obvious very quickly. The gun that looks incredible at the range may be completely impractical for everyday concealment. The Desert Eagle can be a fun and impressive firearm, but that does not make it a good first carry gun. Number 6. The Springfield Hellcat. This one may surprise people. because the Hellcat is a very popular micro-compact 9mm. It offers high capacity in a small package. That is a major advantage. But many new owners buy it because they believe a small 9mm will shoot like a full-size 9mm. It will not. The Hellcat is compact. That means less grip, less weight, and more recoil than a larger pistol. The gun is not the problem. The misunderstanding is, new owners often see a small pistol with 11 or 13 rounds and think they are getting the best of everything, but physics still exists. Small, lightweight 9mm pistols can be more difficult to control. The solution is not necessarily to avoid the Hellcat. The solution is to shoot one before buying it. Some people love it. Some people discover that a slightly larger pistol gives them far better control, and that discovery is exactly what prevents buyer's remorse. Number 7. The Glock 26. The Glock 26 has been around for years and has a very loyal following. It is reliable, it is compact, it accepts larger Glock magazines, and for experienced Glock owners, it can be a fantastic concealed carry gun. But new owners sometimes buy it because they assume a smaller Glock must be easier to carry. That is not always true. The grip is short and thick. Some people find it comfortable. Others find the shape difficult to conceal. The short grip can also be harder to control, especially for people with larger hands. And while the Glock 26 is small, it is not necessarily a pocket pistol. That creates a common problem. The new owner buys it expecting it to disappear, then discovers that the thick grip still requires a good holster and proper clothing. Again, the gun is not bad. It is simply not the right shape for everyone, and that is the biggest lesson in concealed carry. The best gun is not automatically the smallest gun. It is not automatically the gun with the most rounds. It is not automatically the most powerful gun. And it is definitely not automatically the gun that is most popular online. Because many new owners buy a gun they admire. Experienced owners usually choose a gun they can live with, but every one of these guns can work for the right person. That is why you should never buy a carry gun based only on a YouTube comment, a popular ranking, or a dramatic advertisement. Try the gun if possible. Hold it. Dry fire it safely. Check whether you can reach the trigger comfortably. See whether you can operate the controls. And most importantly, shoot it before committing to it as your everyday carry gun. Because buyer's remorse usually starts before the purchase. It starts when someone ignores the question, does this gun actually fit me? So now I want to hear from you. What carry gun did you regret buying? Was it too heavy? Too snappy? Too difficult to conceal? Too uncomfortable? Or did you simply realize that another gun fit your hand much better? Tell us the model and what you would choose instead. Because a new buyer may be reading your comment right now, and your experience could save them from making the same expensive mistake. And if you have ever bought a carry gun that looked perfect on paper but failed the real-world test, tell us what happened. That is where the best lessons usually come from.